Have you ever looked back on your childhood and asked, why did I go through that? Have you ever wondered why you've always felt different? Why life brought you strange favor and fierce battles, even when you were too young to understand them? Let me tell you, this isn't coincidence. This is confirmation. You were chosen. Before the world labeled you. Before the pain tried to define you. Before anyone else recognized it. He had already marked you. And the signs have been there since your earliest breath. In this message, we are going to uncover 10 life-changing signs that God handpicked you for a purpose from the very beginning. So open your heart, because what you're about to discover might explain everything. Sign 1. You faced spiritual warfare as a child. From the moment you entered this world, the enemy noticed you. Long before you could speak or pray or dream, hell had already recognized the fingerprint of heaven on your life. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This isn't poetic fluff. This is divine strategy. Moses was marked for deliverance, and Pharaoh tried to wipe him out as an infant. Jesus, our Savior, hadn't performed a single miracle, yet King Herod ordered a massacre in Bethlehem just to prevent his rise. These are not isolated events. They are patterns. If your childhood was filled with trauma, instability, rejection, or emotional torment, it wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were dangerous. The enemy tried to destroy what God destined to deliver. But every battle became a lesson. Every scar, proof of survival. Every tear, water for your future harvest. You didn't just survive your childhood. You were being shaped for your calling. Sign 2. You never quite fit in. From a young age, you sensed it. You were different. While others seemed to flow easily with the crowd, you often felt like a stranger among familiar faces. No matter how hard you tried to blend in, something within you resisted. This feeling wasn't a flaw. It was a sign. God never meant for you to conform. He set you apart for a higher calling. John 15:19 says, "You do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of it." That distinction can feel isolating, but it's actually divine. Joseph didn't fit in with his brothers because he carried dreams from God they couldn't understand. David was overlooked by his family, yet chosen by heaven. Even John the Baptist, peculiar and wild, had a destiny no one else could carry. You weren't made to fit the mold. You were made to break it. That sense of not belonging? It's proof that you were always meant to lead. Sign 3. You've been rejected without reason. Have you ever walked into a room and felt unwanted, even before saying a word? Or had people turn against you for reasons you couldn't explain? This kind of rejection isn't always about who you are, but about what you carry. The light within you can stir discomfort in those still walking in darkness. It challenges, exposes, and convicts, even without intent. Joseph's brothers despised him not because he harmed them, but because his dreams made them uneasy. David endured Saul's jealousy, and Jesus was hated for speaking truth and walking in power. Your rejection is not a curse, it's a clue. It reveals the weight of your calling. When opposition rises without reason, it's often a sign that heaven's hand is resting heavily on your life. Sign 4. You carry an unshakable compassion for others. Since you were young, your heart broke easily for others. You cried for pain that wasn't yours. You longed to help the hurting, even when you couldn't explain why. That's not emotional fragility. That's a divine assignment. Philippians 2:4 says, "Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Moses felt this when he saw a Hebrew beaten. Nehemiah wept for Jerusalem before he ever built a wall. Jesus himself was moved with compassion. God places a burden where he intends to build. But hear this: you are not called to burn out. Even Jesus withdrew to pray. Moses learned to delegate. Your heart is powerful, but it must be stewarded. Help with wisdom. Love with boundaries. Serve with balance. You are not just kind, you are called. Sign 5. You've had close calls with death. There have been moments in your life when death came close, too close. Whether through illness, accidents, or silent battles with despair, you've walked through shadows that should have swallowed you. But they didn't. And that's not by chance. It's by design. God's hand has preserved you because your purpose is not yet complete. Moses floated safely through a crocodile-infested river. Daniel slept peacefully beside lions. Paul survived shipwrecks and snake bites. Jesus escaped several assassination attempts before his appointed time. You were spared, not just to live, but to lead. Your life is marked by divine protection, because what you carry is too valuable to be lost. You're still here for a reason. Sign 6. Unexplainable favor follows you. There are doors you've walked through that you didn't even knock on. Opportunities that found you when you felt least qualified. Others noticed it too. Favor seems to follow you. This isn't luck. It's evidence of God's hand on your life. Like Joseph, who prospered even in prison, or Esther, who was chosen out of thousands, divine favor surrounds those with a divine purpose. When you're chosen, even broken paths can lead to blessing. But favor is not just for your benefit. It's for your assignment. With every open door comes a responsibility to serve, lead, and uplift others. You were favored not to shine alone, but to reflect God's glory wherever He places you. Let that favor point others to Him. There's 2. Sign 7. You were rejected by people closest to you. Few wounds cut deeper than rejection from those you love, family, friends, or trusted voices. Their silence, criticism, or betrayal left scars that still ache. But this pain often carries a purpose. Joseph was rejected by his brothers, not for wrongdoing, but because of the dreams God gave him. Jesus himself was not received by his own people. Their rejection didn't stop his mission, it fulfilled it. Sometimes God uses rejection to push you into the very place He's prepared for you. What felt like abandonment was actually redirection. You weren't rejected because you lacked worth. You were rejected because your calling made others uncomfortable. Sign 8. Your gift made you stand out early. Even as a child, there was something different about you. While others played, you created. While others followed, you led. You didn't ask to stand out. Your gift simply wouldn't let you blend in. This uniqueness wasn't accidental. It was divine. Proverbs 18:16 says, "A man's gift makes room for him." Like David playing the harp for a king or Daniel interpreting dreams as a youth, your gift was an early glimpse of your greater purpose. But remember, your gift is not about recognition. It's about responsibility. You weren't gifted just to impress, but to impact. When surrendered to God, your gift becomes a tool to transform lives. Sign 9. You've faced setbacks that felt unfair. You've worked hard, prayed faithfully, yet faced losses that didn't make sense. Doors closed, plans crumbled, and it often felt like you were moving backward. But those setbacks weren't punishment. They were preparation. Romans 8:28 reminds us that, in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Job lost everything, yet God restored him double. David fled for his life, but gained a throne. Jesus was crucified, but rose in power. God wastes nothing. The betrayal taught you boundaries. The loss taught you trust. The delay taught you to listen. Every setback shaped the version of you that can now handle the blessing ahead. Sign 10. You've always hungered for God. Even as a child, you sensed there was more. You were drawn to the spiritual, while others chased the superficial. You didn't know why, you just felt it. Psalm 42:1 describes it perfectly. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God. Samuel heard God as a child. Mary sat at Jesus' feet while others served. That hunger was not natural, it was supernatural. God planted it in you because He wants to use you. Never let that flame die. Feed it. Protect it. Let it drive your decisions and shape your destiny. If these signs stirred something in your heart, it's because the truth is waking up inside you. You were chosen. Before you were born. Before the world knew your name. Before the battles. Before the favor. Before the tears. you were His. So today, don't just accept your calling. Embrace it. Don't shrink back. Step forward. If this message confirms something deep in your soul, type in the comments, "I was chosen before I was born." Let the enemy know. You've awakened to your purpose. Let the world know. You're stepping into your calling. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message. Someone else needs to hear this truth. God bless you, mighty warrior. You were chosen. From the cradle. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when silence speaks louder than words. When the sense of being different isn't just a feeling, but a calling. Have you ever stood in a crowded room and felt like a stranger? Have you carried questions that others never seem to ask? Felt tensions, dreams, or yearnings you couldn't explain? If so, you might not just be different. You might be marked by God. Throughout Scripture, we see a pattern. God sets apart people, not because they are perfect, but because they are willing. They are chosen, often misunderstood, and unmistakably marked by invisible signs that set them apart. These signs aren't always easy to bear, but they reveal a deeper truth. Heaven has placed a divine imprint on your life. Today, we'll walk through 7 powerful signs that you are one of God's chosen ones. By the end, you may just recognize that what you've always seen as struggle was actually sacred preparation. Let's begin. 1. Toxic people can't stand your presence. Have you ever noticed certain people pulling away from you without explanation? Colleagues grow distant, friends suddenly fade, or even family members seem uncomfortable around you. At first, it feels like rejection, but in truth, it might be spiritual protection. When you're marked by God, you carry a light that confronts darkness, often without saying a word. It's not arrogance or superiority. It's a divine presence that disturbs hidden intentions. People with envy, bitterness, or deceit can sense this, and it unsettles them. Just as Jesus' mere presence exposed the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, your life may reflect a truth others don't want to face. But don't see their departure as loss. Instead, see it as God removing what could hinder your growth. Sometimes, distancing isn't a result of what you did wrong, but of what you carry that is right. And that difference, that discomfort you cause, it's a mark. 2. You perceive things. Others don't. Sometimes the atmosphere shifts the moment you enter a room, and though everything appears normal, something deep within says otherwise. Or someone speaks kindly, yet their true intentions echo louder in silence. That's not just intuition, that's spiritual discernment. Those marked by God often carry an internal alert system, a sensitivity to what's unseen. It's a gift that protects them, guides them, and sets them apart. Look at Joseph. God gave him dreams of greatness, but when he shared them, he was met with mockery and betrayal. Others couldn't see what he saw, and often, neither will they see what you do. The spiritually sensitive are often labeled as dramatic, paranoid, or too deep. But the truth is, you simply see further than most. You're not imagining things, you're discerning things. 3. You attract conflicts. You didn't start. There are times when conflict finds you, even when you've done all you can to avoid it. It feels unjust, being misjudged, criticized, or singled out without reason. But for those marked by God, such tension isn't about personal faults. It's about the spiritual weight they carry. Your presence disrupts what's hidden, not by force, but by the truth that lives within you. The truth is, your presence carries conviction. Even in silence, your integrity can challenge those living in compromise. Light doesn't need to argue with darkness to expose it. It simply needs to show up. And when it does, those hiding in the shadows become uncomfortable. This was Daniel's story. He was blameless, yet his refusal to be corrupted made him a threat to the powerful. His enemies couldn't find fault in him, so they created one. But Daniel didn't fight back. He remained faithful, and God defended him. When conflict arises without cause, don't be discouraged. It's not always about you. It's about what God is doing through you. And that resistance, that pressure, it's a mark. 4. You never truly fit. Since childhood, you've probably felt it. Like you were watching the world from the outside. Like you weren't designed to play along with everyone else's rules. You're not alone. God's chosen rarely fit into common molds. Why? Because their citizenship isn't of this world. There's a holy discomfort woven into their spirit, a divine ache that whispers, "There's more." Moses was raised in a palace but never felt at home. He chose to suffer with God's people rather than enjoy the fleeting comfort of Egypt. His discomfort was the signal. His destiny lay elsewhere. So when you feel misplaced, misunderstood, or misaligned, don't suppress it. That longing might be God drawing you out of the crowd and into your calling. Pause and consider this. Ever felt out of place, even in spaces where you were expected to fit in? Perhaps it wasn't rejection, but a gentle reminder from God that you were never meant to settle for less, because you were created for something greater. 5. Children and animals are drawn to you. It's subtle, but striking. A baby stares at you with quiet awe. A dog that barks at everyone else comes and rests at your feet. A child you've never met runs to you with inexplicable trust. That's not a coincidence. Children and animals are deeply sensitive to spiritual atmospheres. Their innocence perceives presence. And when someone carries God's presence, they can feel it, even when adults cannot. Jesus himself welcomed the children, saying, "The kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." And remember the story of Balaam's donkey? Even an animal could sense the angel in the path before Balaam did. These interactions may seem small, but they point to something profound. You carry a spiritual frequency that even the innocent recognize. Let your presence speak louder than your words. May others feel peaceful just by being near you, even if they don't understand why. 6th, God speaks to you through dreams and signs. You dream of something, and it happens. You notice repeated numbers or recurring themes. You hear the same message from multiple sources in a short time. These aren't coincidences. They are whispers from heaven. Since the beginning of time, God has spoken through dreams, visions, and signs. Joseph dreamed of his future. Daniel received visions that shaped nations. The Magi were warned in a dream not to return to Herod. God still speaks. But the noise of this world often drowns out his whispers. Those marked by God learn to pay attention, to listen with the heart, to pause and ask, "Lord, is this from you?" Sometimes the signs are grand, but often they're simple. A closed door, a delayed flight, an unexpected encounter, or a scripture that jumps out at the right moment. Take a moment to reflect. Have certain signs, patterns, or messages been showing up again and again in your life? Maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe it's God gently calling for your attention, inviting you to see what he's revealing. 7. When you pray, things happen. This is the most powerful sign of all. Anyone can say a prayer. But when the chosen ones pray, realities shift. It's not about fancy words or rituals. It's about spiritual authority rooted in deep faith and surrender. Elijah prayed, and the heavens shut, and opened again at his word. Peter prayed, and the paralyzed walked. Paul and Silas prayed, and prison doors opened. The chosen ones carry a connection that moves mountains. Why? Because their prayers are not just requests, they're alignments with heaven's will. And when your will matches God's, nothing can stand in the way. If your prayers have the power to move heaven, then the weight of your responsibility is just as great. Are your prayers shaped by personal desire, or are they aligned with God's greater purpose? Now reflect. Have there been moments when you prayed and witnessed undeniable, even miraculous outcomes? That wasn't coincidence. It was confirmation that your voice carries real authority in the spiritual realm. Being chosen doesn't always feel good. In fact, it often feels isolating, painful, unsettling. But it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to define you. The signs you carry are not burdens. They are blessings in disguise, divine fingerprints on your soul. If you've seen yourself in these 7 signs, Don't ignore what God is showing you. Don't minimize what you carry. Don't run from the discomfort. It's your training ground. God has marked you not to blend in, but to rise up. If this message has spoken to your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Write in the comments, "I carry the marks of the chosen." Like this message to confirm your agreement. Share it with someone who needs a reminder of their calling. And subscribe for more videos that strengthen your journey. Remember, you are not alone. You were never meant to walk an ordinary path. Because you, my friend, are marked by God. Have you ever felt different? Not just unique in your interests or talents, but deeply different. Like the rhythm of life beats differently in your soul. Perhaps, in the quiet moments of solitude, you've sensed an unseen presence gently nudging you, reminding you that your journey holds a deeper purpose. If you've ever had that unmistakable inner whisper urging you to look beyond the surface, you might be one of the rare few, the chosen ones. In every era, across every culture, there have always been individuals who walk a path that others cannot see. They are often misunderstood, even isolated, but they shine with a light the world cannot ignore. These are the ones marked by something divine, something extraordinary. Today, we're going to uncover 10 powerful spiritual signs that often mark a soul chosen by higher forces. As we explore each one, allow yourself to reflect deeply. You may just discover that you are far more powerful, more called, and more spiritually aligned than you ever imagined. Sign 1. Unexplainable synchronicities. The language of the universe. There are moments in life that feel strangely perfect, too timely, too precise to be mere coincidence. For the chosen ones, these moments happen often. They're called synchronicities, and they serve as subtle signs that the universe is in conversation with your soul. You might be thinking of someone out of the blue and just then they call. Or a rare symbol appears repeatedly, in books, on signs, even in dreams, until its deeper meaning becomes impossible to ignore. These experiences feel magical, but they are more than that. They are markers of alignment. For those on a higher spiritual path, synchronicities appear when something important is unfolding. They are quiet nudges from the divine, steering you toward truth, healing, or clarity. Over time, you begin to recognize these moments as part of a larger tapestry. They remind you that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are being gently guided, step, by something greater. Sign 2. Heightened empathy. Feeling the world in your bones. Being chosen often means carrying more than your own emotions. It means sensing the heartbeats of others as if they were your own. This is the gift and the burden of heightened empathy. You don't just notice someone's sadness, you feel it, heavy and real. Their joy becomes your joy, their pain, your ache. In crowded spaces, this can become overwhelming. The weight of unspoken thoughts, silent struggles, and hidden wounds floods your senses, sometimes without warning. But this empathy isn't limited to people. Many chosen souls feel deeply connected to animals, plants, and even spaces. A wilting flower may stir sorrow in your chest. A distressed animal may draw you in like a magnet. This connection isn't imagined. It's intuitive, spiritual, and very real. Though it can be draining, this empathy is also a sacred gift. It gives you the power to comfort, to understand without words, and to heal simply by being present. The world feels deeply because you feel deeply, and in that lies your strength. Sign 3. Vivid prophetic dreams, messages from the beyond. For many chosen ones, nightfall marks not an end, but a beginning. While the world sleeps, their spirit awakens, stepping into a dream realm rich with meaning and mystery. These dreams are not vague or forgettable. They're vivid, emotionally charged, and often linger long after waking. You might wake with a racing heart, a clear memory, or a deep sense that something important just happened. And more often than not, it did. Prophetic dreams can show you places you've never visited, until you do. They echo future conversations, unlock buried emotions, or bring messages through symbols, signs, or even loved ones who've passed on. These aren't random scenes. They are sacred messages, whispers from a higher realm, wrapped in the language of imagery and feeling. To dream like this is to live between two worlds. And for the chosen, both are equally real, equally meaningful. Sign 4. Communication with spirit guides. You are never alone. There are times when you sense a quiet presence nearby, gentle, calming, and undeniably real. It's not fear you feel, but peaceful. For many chosen ones, this is the first sign of connection with a spirit guide. These guides aren't figments of the mind. They are wise, unseen companions assigned to support your journey. You may first notice them in meditation, prayer, or silence, a thought that brings clarity, a feeling that you're not alone. As your awareness deepens, so does the connection. You might begin to notice symbols, repeating numbers, or sensations that seem to arrive right when you need them most. Some guides walk with you for a lifetime, others appear during key moments of growth. This sacred bond doesn't require perfection, just openness. And when you truly listen, you'll discover you've never been walking this path alone. Sign 5. Seeing auras. The colors of the soul. Some chosen ones possess a rare and beautiful gift, the ability to see what lies beyond the surface. They see auras, the subtle energy fields that surround all living beings. At first, it might appear as a soft glow or a flicker of color around someone's body. But with time, it becomes more vivid. Colors tied to emotions, health, and even spiritual state. A vibrant blue may signal calm wisdom, a fiery red, intense energy, a murky gray, hidden pain. These colors are not just visual. They are emotional signatures, revealing what words often cannot express. To see auras is to perceive the unseen truth in others. It brings both insight and responsibility. In crowded spaces, the swirl of energies can be overwhelming, but with grounding, this gift becomes a powerful tool for healing and connection. Through this lens, chosen ones see the soul, not just the skin, and in that vision, they offer light. Sign 6. Inexplicable physical sensations. The body awakens. For the chosen ones, spiritual awakening often begins in the body. Long before the mind understands, the body feels. You may experience strange, unexplainable sensations, tingling in your hands, warmth in your chest, pressure on your forehead, or sudden waves of energy flowing through your spine. These aren't random. They are signs that your energy centers, your chakras, are activating. Some feel these shifts during meditation or moments of deep emotion. Others experience them in nature or during sudden bursts of clarity. You might feel a flutter in your heart when truth is spoken, or a chill when entering a spiritually charged space. These sensations aren't cause for fear. They are confirmations. Your spirit is waking up, and your body is responding. To feel this way is to be alive in a deeper sense. The physical becomes a gateway to the spiritual. And in that awakening, you begin to walk your path with greater awareness, guided from within. Sign 7. Repeating numbers, angelic whispers and digits. Why does 1111 keep showing up? Could it be more than coincidence? Not a coincidence, but a quiet nudge from the universe. Or notice the same number sequence, 222, 444, 777, following you everywhere? For the chosen ones, these aren't coincidences. They are messages, gentle whispers from the divine, delivered in numbers. Each repeating sequence carries meaning. 111 may signal a new beginning. 333 might remind you of spiritual alignment. 555 often points to transformation ahead. These numbers tend to appear in moments of doubt, decision, or awakening, as if the universe is saying, "You're not alone. Keep going." Over time, chosen souls develop an inner sensitivity to these signs. They begin to understand that numbers are more than math. They're spiritual codes, woven into everyday life. When you start to notice these patterns, don't ignore them. Pause. Reflect. You are being guided, quietly, constantly, by a language older than words and as precise as light itself. Sign 8. Deep connection to nature. Earth as sacred teacher. For many chosen ones, nature isn't just a place, it's a presence. There's a quiet, sacred bond that connects their spirit to the earth, the trees, the sky. Time spent in nature doesn't just refresh them, it restores them, as if the wind itself is whispering wisdom only their soul can hear. You might feel a deep love for animals, or an instinctive desire to protect forests, oceans, and all living things. Even plants may respond to your presence, thriving under your care, as though they recognize you. In moments of stillness, you may sense the heartbeat of the earth, or feel messages riding the breeze. Nature becomes your sanctuary, your teacher, and your mirror. This connection isn't random. It's a reminder that you, too, are part of creation. That the divine speaks not only in dreams or visions, but through sunlight, through soil, and through the sacred silence between the trees. Sign 9. Sense of greater purpose. A calling you cannot ignore. From a young age, many chosen souls carry a quiet but persistent feeling. I'm here for something more. It's not about fame or fortune. It's about meaning. Even in moments of confusion or hardship, there's an unshakable sense that your life has purpose, that you were meant to impact the world in a way only you can. This inner calling may not come with clear instructions, but it whispers in your decisions, your dreams, your restlessness. Ordinary paths may feel suffocating. Shallow conversations may drain you. You crave depth, truth, and alignment with something greater than yourself. For the chosen, this purpose isn't about personal gain. It's about service, healing, awakening, uplifting others through your unique gifts. And even when the road feels unclear, that inner pull won't let go. Because it's not just a desire, it's a divine assignment. One that's been woven into your soul since before you were born. Sign 10. Spiritual crises and awakening. Fire before flight. For many chosen ones, awakening doesn't begin in light. It begins in darkness. Before stepping into purpose, they pass through seasons of pain, loss, isolation, confusion, or emotional collapse. These spiritual crises feel like the breaking of everything, but in truth, they are the unfolding of who you really are. You may have questioned everything, your beliefs, your worth, even your place in the world. But that collapse wasn't an end. It was an invitation. Like the phoenix, you had to burn before you could fly. Through this fire, illusions fall away. What remains is your truth, your resilience, and a soul forged by flame. You begin to see with new eyes, love with deeper compassion, and rise with purpose you couldn't access before. Spiritual crises are not punishments, they are initiations. And for the chosen, they mark the moment when life stops being ordinary and starts becoming divine. If any of these signs stirred something within you, trust this. Your presence here is no coincidence. You are part of something greater, called to awaken, to heal, and to shine. Your journey may not look like anyone else's, but it is sacred, powerful, and needed. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If this message spoke to your soul, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your presence here matters, and together, we'll continue exploring the beauty, depth, and purpose of your spiritual journey.